Hey guys, Brandon here with My Comic Universe.
And Travis here.
And today we're going to talk about Gotham.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so first, do you like Gotham?
I actually really like Gotham. You know, the overall concept of it. We get this pre-Batman Bruce Wayne, and we also get to see kind of how some of these villains become who they are, which is
that is
awesome.
pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, some of them aren't done quite as well as others.
That's true.
But, I mean, that's open to debate, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a matter of opinion.
I also like the show too. It definitely has its ups and downs, but I think overall, over the last 3 seasons, it's had more ups than downs.
Yeah.
It's definitely shown that it could be a really good show. Like, it definitely has potential to be a really good show. However, one thing that I don't like about the show is that they seem to cram too many villains in, and then they can't really focus on each character afterwards. Like, a good example for that would be Mr. Freeze.
It's actually a perfect example.
Yeah, like, so at first, they did, like, I believe it was a 2-episode story arc where you learned a lot about him.
Mm-hmm.
And now in, like, the latest season, he's just, like, a one-dimensional goon.
Yeah, he's a background guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't get many lines. He's really not all that important to the storyline whatsoever. I mean, I'm glad we get to see him. I'm glad they introduced the character, but I mean, the storyline hasn't been essential to him whatsoever.
Exactly, and so there's just lots of characters that fall off the grid, or you don't really hear about them afterwards, and they're just cramming too much in at once.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing about Gotham is that, like, every time I hear about something they plan on doing, it sounds like it's going to be terrible. Like, it sounds like, what are they doing? But then when you actually see it on screen, like, it's not so bad. So I'm very conflicted with this show.
That's true. Sometimes I don't watch episodes when they first come out. I'll watch them a day or two late, and I'll read or hear things about it, and people kind of rag on it. But when I'm actually watching it, I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Exactly. It's like, you want to hate it, but you can't.
Yeah. Maybe that's just the nostalgia, just because I love DC. I love all the characters so much. Maybe they can do no wrong in my mind. But
yeah, it's hard to not want to watch a show around Gotham and those characters.
Definitely. Speaking of the characters, who's your favorite villain?
All right. So this is kind of a tough choice because there's a lot of villains to choose from.
There are.
There are pretty much almost all there.
Yes. It's like every other episode we get a new one.
And I want you around as a constant reminder to never make that mistake again.
Let's say I haven't been the best friend.
Did you kill Butch?
Yes, but it's not like you gave me a choice.
There's always a choice.
Yeah, now see, I know a lot of people like Penguin or like Barbara. Like, those seem to be some favorites. But for me, like, I think my favorite villain is the Riddler.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you. I actually really, really like Riddler in this.
Me too, yeah.
It started off a little bit slow.
Yeah, and not just slow, like, they just wrote him, like, so terribly. Like, they kind of felt like they treated the audience like they were idiots. They were kind of, like, throwing the hints in your face, like, he's going to be the Riddler,
We know he's Edward Nygma. We
Wink,
know who he's going to become.
Yeah.
You don't have to beat around that bush too much with us.
And now they don't do that anymore, he's kind of gone full-on Riddler, and they've
yeah.
written the character a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, he even has
got
at
the
least
outfit,
a version of his trademark outfit. Yeah.
Yeah,
the character has really developed well. Thank God.
Yeah, there are a few villains that they actually have done really well in the show, and the Riddler is one of them.
Yeah. We both agree on our favorite villain. Let's see how we compare with our least favorite.
All right, who's your least favorite?
I might get some ridicule for this, but Jerome or it's led to believe that he might be the Joker or a precursor to the Joker or something. But I love the actor. I watched Shameless too, and he was great in that. But I just don't like what they've done with it.
You want to be a hero? Gotham has no heroes.
His acting is great.
Yeah, so he's not bad, but it just has to go with the writing of the show.
Exactly.
They're pushing too much.
And after he's revived and his face has been removed and it's all haphazardly put on, the makeup is done pretty terribly.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that to me is something that they just grabbed something from the comics and threw in the show. It doesn't even make sense, and it's just to pander to people, to be like, check it out, it's from the comics.
It's true. This is familiar to you, check it
out.
Yeah, I mean, if it had been done a little bit better, I would have enjoyed it more. I didn't dislike it. It's just, I feel like it could have been done so much better.
And I almost kind of don't like when people are trying to go for, like, an origin of the Joker or who's his true identity, like, these kind of things, like, The more that he's a mystery, the better the character is to me.
Absolutely, I agree. But how about you? Who's your least favorite villain?
So mine differs from yours. Mine happens to be, as you can see on the screen, Fish Mooney.
Fish.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of her. She was a character that they wrote for the show, and I don't really like it. There's a lot of overacting, and I think that even though her character has helped the Penguin's story arc or character arc a lot, it's just the show would have been better off without her, I think.
I agree with you on that. If Jerome had been done better, she'd probably have been my pick for least favorite villain.
Yeah.
I'm really not a fan. Growing up, I was more Marvel fan than DC, so when I started watching the show, I was like, Fish Mooney, who's that? And I looked it up and found out she was written for the show.
Yeah.
So, after that point, knowing she wasn't essential to comics or anything like that, I wondered why they even did it. I know, like you said, she's been essential to some parts of the storyline, but...
Well, at first it didn't bother me that they wrote a new character. Like, I kind of like that, because that gives them the freedom to do more things with the show. However, they just didn't do it very well.
yeah, should have picked a different character.
Yeah. Now that we've gone over the show quite a bit, let's talk about the new season.
Oh, yeah.
So on the season finale, we kind of left off with Bruce going full vigilante and, going to the streets to patrol and take on muggers.
Yeah,
What do you think about that?
Well, at first sight, I was like, oh, this is awesome. But too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
I mean, they literally, in that last episode, said that it's been 3 years since his parents died. That would make him 11 years old. And in that last episode, he took on a mugger with a gun. Like, it just seems a little unrealistic.
Yeah,
However, when I did watch it, I didn't think it was done badly.
True.
Every time I keep hearing about this new season and they're talking about Bruce being a vigilante and he's got the mask and cowl and... I mean, not the original, but, you see.
A version.
Yeah, and so at first I'm like, oh, this sounds cheesy, this sounds lame, but then when I saw the end of that last season, I thought it was done really well. And, it was a little believable.
I agree. I do agree. But in my mind, I'm sticking to other versions of media, his timeline and everything. And he just met at the end of last season Ra's al Ghul, or in the show they've been calling him Raish al Ghul.
Yeah.
Which just doesn't line up.
Yeah, so one of the only ways that I could really see this working is if he goes out and tries to take on people and then he fails.
Yeah.
And then he goes to train with the League of Assassins and really takes a few years to learn and things like that.
Yes, that would make the most sense.
But knowing Gotham, by the end of the season, he'll be Batman.
Yeah, full on Batman. You got the Batcave and everything. Yeah.
And so now that they're doing this with this season, it kind of reminds me of Batman Year One. And this is actually something that I thought about a lot throughout this whole show. And I feel like they could have done things a lot better if they would have focused more on the way that Year One told the story. Where we focused more on Batman being a little bit older. Focusing more on Jim Gordon, and stuff. But one thing is that the Bruce Wayne in Batman Year One is completely different than the Bruce Wayne in Gotham. In Year One, he was gone for 12 years training. He was with the League of Assassins.
He's already undergone his training, yeah.
And he still doesn't feel like he's ready to go out and patrol. In
It's
Gotham, he's
such a
11 years
difference.
old. He trained a little with his butler, and now he's ready to hit the
He's
streets.
ready to jump into any trouble he can, yeah.
I feel like this kid's going to die in 2 days,
Yes, by any normal means, he would not last very long.
Year One is a great one to look at.
It's really good.
It really focused on Jim Gordon and his start with the GCPD and, the trouble with the corruption and the crime bosses, that are, Falcone and stuff.
Definitely. We do see some of this towards the beginning of the series of Gotham.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. I like that. You got to see how Jim is dealing with this internal corruption and all this crime that's just rampant in Gotham.
Yeah, so, that pretty much leads me to my next question, which is, what are your hopes for this show? What are your hopes for Gotham?
Well, I definitely hope that, I don't mind if they keep introducing villains, but take a little bit more time with them. Try to make them a little bit more relevant to the storyline. That would... I already enjoy the show, but it would make it a lot more enjoyable.
I agree.
And also put a little bit more focus back on Jim Gordon. I
Yeah.
mean, when it first started, I felt like that's what this show was about.
It really should have been. And I think that is what they wanted to do, but it's hard for them to not include Batman because it's a moneymaker.
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
But no, I have some very similar points. So I actually think that they need to focus on the characters that they have established already. Because they can develop those characters a little bit more, have some great story arcs that, have like a connection or a mystery throughout the season, that tells a good story.
Definitely, bring some of them back to the foreground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, I would like to see Bruce Wayne go out, fight a little, fail, or not do as well, and then realize that he has to do more. He has to train and become a lot better. And then maybe have him go away for a little few seasons.
Train with Raish in the league.
And maybe even, cut to a little bit from him, but focus more on Jim Gordon, the GCPD, and the villains that are there and the corruption with the crime bosses.
Definitely.
I think that would be a good
build
take.
even more of a need for Bruce to come back.
Yeah.
Ready.
But
Yeah.
I am open to the show. I really like it. Whatever they plan on doing, I will watch,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, no matter what they're going to throw at us, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, because at least the show, to me, has been getting better. So even though it's the things I hear sound like they're not going to be as good, the show's been pretty good.
Yes.
They've been doing it very well, and I like where it's going. So we'll see.
Yeah, and that being said, season 4 starts Thursday,
new
September
night.
21st.
Yeah, so check it out, and, let us know what you guys think of Gotham.
Yeah.
Do you guys like it? Do you not like it?
Let us know.
Yeah, what would you like to see from the show?
Subscribe, comment below. Let us know below if there's a comment section.
Yeah.
Otherwise, hit us up on social media.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on our website,
Yes.
check out our social media,
Yeah.
all the things.
All of that stuff. All of it.
All right, later, guys.
We want to thank you for joining us. Take care.